Hey, it's Uncle Joe heading out from mountain crossings, and gonna try to get out to Wolf Laurel top. It's gonna be a fairly long hike in some respects, round trip anyway. But my problem is I'm in snow and I didn't bring no micro spikes, so hopefully snow is all I see, because like an idiot I left them behind. But as you can see, there's no shortage of snow. Well, we're slogging up in this snow. You can see above that we're getting close to the line of freeze. There's a little bit of melting going on down here from the trees. You can hear stuff dropping, but for the most part, this is probably going to stay for a while. Well, we're still slogging up Lowland here. The tracks I were following, or I should say, the tracks that were in the trail, all petered out but one pair. Somebody with relatively small feet. So I'm kind of following the puppetus of the hiker before me. You know, Steve Miller misheard a word and coined the phrase puppetus of love in the song The Joker. He said it just kind of like wasn't really a word, but he had thought he had heard something about the puppetus of love on TV, but he misheard the word and just kind of ran with it. Years later, as the internet came alive, I was like, I wonder if there is a word. I found that apparently there's a Greek word. It means small feet. So I'm following the puppetus of the hiker before me. We've kind of planed out and we're making our way around. Looks like we're coming to a saddle. I thought that this was Lowland proper, but I don't really know that it is. I left my phone in the truck, so can't really track myself. I'll know when I get to where I'm going, because I'll recognize it. In the meantime, I'm just going by how much climbing I do and when I start descending. So those tiny feet are still out in front of me. Most of the melt has stopped coming from the trees. Around here it's happening a little bit because of the sun, but the snow really crunchy on top. So yeah, we're high enough up there won't be a whole lot in the way of melt. Well, I think we finally summited Lowland proper. The snow is softer over here. We're on the southeastern facing side. A little winded, but it was a little bit of a slog coming across that little saddle because of that ridge, because you'd have to step and break through, and that just takes energy out of you with every single step. But we can hear thaw in the trees falling, so I think the sun mainly is working on the tops of these trees. Anyway, we should start heading down pretty soon, so we saddle over to another climb, of course. Well, the snow's getting a little deep on this side. We're kind of on the north side of a ridge, kind of in the middle of the ridge, but the trail was cut over here slightly to the north. Good bit of snow. It's soft over here though, which is nice. I'm trying to step in the prints in front of me so I don't have to break into anything new. Yeah, so we've made it up to the top of this little knob here. Not much in the way of views, but it's kind of a winter wonderland. It looks beautiful. Very nice. Can't see out to the north though. So it's getting pretty steep coming down right now. I'm starting to slide a good bit. I could point the camera down, but it wouldn't look steep to you. But yeah, coming off this this ridge top up here is a little bit slippery. Thank goodness I got some footprints to follow and stick my feet in. But you can hear the ice starting to break on the tops of the trees. I think there may be a little bit of a breeze coming through. So it seems to have stopped now, but yeah, pieces of ice are falling down. But we're gonna keep slogging. If it wasn't for the ice even, we'd probably have a good view right here. We could see around, but I don't think the camera's gonna pierce it. But anyway, let's get off this hump before we get hit by a piece of ice. And we can see across to the other ridge there, there's a lot of melt going on. A little bit of a breeze, and it's knocking some of the ice out. And it sounds like something's coming through the woods sometimes. You're like, what in the world? But yeah, we got a little bit of a view out to our southeast. So we're making our way over. It's just beautiful out today. It's a gorgeous day. I'm trying to stay in this other person's footprints. This is one of those hikes where you really needed boots, because it's just making your feet sore hitting all the uneven stuff in the snow. Boots would have gave me a lot more stable platform in this snow, and I kind of like those micro spikes. Thought about it and shrugged it off. So micro spikes probably wouldn't have mattered much, but the boots would have probably helped a good bit. But then again, they're heavy, so well, yanto. So right here is where I camped. Had a hammock right between these two trees. I camped when I was sectioning this, doing the Georgia section of the AT. Right off the trail, so literally right there. People camped up above us, had a bear come into their camp that morning. And I suspected he might have come through our camp too. But I camped here with Lane and Haley, Kylie, Jordan, and Courtney. Hope you guys are doing well. They were nice enough to put up with me and let me camp a couple of nights with them. We camped, where did we camp first? Woods Hole. And we came here and hiked out the next morning. It's a long time ago. It's hard to believe it. Those youngsters are, some of them done married and children, and it's just crazy how life is. We had a good night of camping right here. Had a good time. Anyway, we're going to keep moving. So usually when you hike in the snow, it's really quiet. It gets real quiet. But right now, we must be at the cusp of the freezing mark, because everything's coming down out of the trees. And it could be breezes too that's just breaking it off and it's falling. The sun's blaring in on it too, and it's causing it to melt a little bit. So it's just a cacophony of pieces of ice raining down. And sometimes something will fall that's pretty heavy. And it just, sounds like animals. Just, you'd think there's a whole herd of something out there. It's just funny. So there's a section of briars through there. It's just no fun. Some of them arched over the trail. Good riddance. But I gotta go back through there. The camera's probably not getting him, but right straight in front of me, that little black mass. I think it's a squirrel. I thought maybe it was a... Yeah, he's gone. I thought maybe it was a grouse. The way it was bobbing its head at first. I think it was a squirrel. He's gone now. Oh well. as you can hear, the ice is coming down as we made it to Wolf Laurel top. Yeah, lots of ice coming down. We can see Yona way out yonder. I believe that white face out there is wildcat. I could be wrong, but I believe that's wildcat's face. And maybe out here, one of these over here is cow rock, but I don't think that is. I could be wrong. That could be underneath cow rock, but anyway, you can go out to Storybook out there somewhere too. I'd have to really study the map, which I don't have because my phone's in the truck. But we're not going to go that far. We've made it to our turnaround point. We don't get killed by a bunch of ice falling. Maybe we'll make it back. All right, we're heading out. We're making our way back. If we don't fall. Man, back there at the Wolf Laurel top, all that ice coming down. It would come down and hit, you know, multiple times. And it just sounded like somebody was just running down the trail behind me. Man, somebody's in a hurry. And yeah, it's probably not the best time to be out when this ice starts coming down. You know, I really didn't think it was gonna be warm enough for that to happen, but a little bit of wind could probably cause that as well. And there is a little bit of a breeze. So, yeah, we don't always follow good advice ourselves, those of us who've hiked for a while. But it is what it is. Got to get back now. Really important to put your feet in the old footprints because it's a slog trying to get through the snow. Not wearing boots was a mistake. My feet are taking a beating just from the imperfections of the trail. I'm beginning to think maybe not wearing a helmet was a bad idea because I just got smacked by a couple of big pieces of ice. Oddly enough, when I was moving, I barely got hit with anything, so I should probably get up and get moving. Anyway, we're on the back side of Loveland. We got to get over the top and then down to mountain crossings. And we'll make the road walk back down to Old Gobi. So we're making our way up this steep, rocky zigzag section here. So ice keeps falling. It's going to be a little slog for a little bit longer, and then we'll start our final approach. So this is slushy. You can really see how wet. And I think it's probably because of the rock. The rock may be warming up underneath it. and that's causing some slush. Anyway, we got to keep moving on because we're not at the top yet. I think we're getting closer to the top of this slog here. It's a bit of a hump to get over. But all of this falling ice reminds me of my cousin Dennis. Dennis was never more joyful than when having a laugh at your expense. And if something happened to you, as long as it didn't kill you, he was going to laugh about it. I'm thinking to myself, if I get hit on the head with one of these, I can just hear Dennis over there laughing. I can see him just, one of those just big belly laughs. Thinking about your cousin, hoping you're feeling better soon. I'll feel a lot better when I get over this big old hill. Legs are getting tired, feet are really, really sore. These soles are just not made for rough terrain, and the snow makes it rough because you just don't know what's underneath, and then you're packing snow in, and it's rough. You lose a lot of energy breaking through it too. Well, there's Blood Mountain looming large in front of us. We're almost back to mountain crossings here. Had some folks with a couple of dogs and a deputy going up the trail just now. I said, "Are y'all looking for somebody?" He's like, "No, we're kind of out there training, sort of practicing, getting some snow hiking in and what have you." So that's good to know. It's a relief. Somebody wasn't out here needing some help and lost or something. Anyway, we just got to get to the bottom of this hill. We'll be at mountain crossings. All right, we can see mountain crossings. See the sheds are back here. It's probably where Bill keeps all of Shannon's extra memes that she posts online. Well, we're back at mountain crossings. You can hear the motorcycles firing up. There's a tree with all the shoes of the hikers that give up when they get here. What are you gonna do? Anyway, we'll give you the mileage to this point. And I gotta make my way about a half a mile down to Old Gobi. Well, we can see Old Gobi through the trees, waiting patiently. Hopefully nobody broke in and got my Tupperware ice pot makers. Those little molds came in handy on a summer day. O'Neill Gap to Wolf Laurel top done. It closes a section I haven't hiked in a very long time, so I was glad to do that. It's really tough in the snow. I really should have had boots. The sole support, having a sole that moves around underneath your foot is not good in this snow. It was a slog. It's a bit like hiking in beach sand, so it's tough. I'm beat up, so I'm ready to get out of here, find something to eat,